sunny day, sweeping the storm clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and if applicable, good night. Wherever you are, whenever it is, we're here together, we're here now, and it is good. The token saint saw what he saw and saw that it was good and continued with his podcast streams. Excuse me. Um, with that being said, instead of waiting to the very end, right from the get go, I want to say a huge thank you, thank you, thank you to those of you who listen and watch and listen, or download and listen, or whatever it is, however it is that you're doing it. I greatly, please do not underestimate how much I appreciate this. Uh, I check my numbers. I check the numbers on Spotify. I check the numbers on YouTube, and they're blowing my mind because I didn't expect any of this to go in the direction that it has. All that I ask is engage. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, do something. Share it with somebody that you think may need to hear some more good news in their life, because that's all I'm bringing. That's all I want to do. That's you know I'm not up for, sowing seeds of division. I leave that to a whole other group of people, and I don't get down with that. I used to get along with that. I used to join right in with that, and realized, how can I want one thing but I'm engaging in something else? That's that math just don't math at all. So here we go. I'm gonna have to stop because this mic picks up everything, and now we got people screaming about throwing up. This is my life, my house. Oh lordy, help me. Hey, if you're gonna barf, make sure I get it on audio. I want to hear it. I'm kidding. I don't want to hear it. All right. I also want to. I want to apologize. It's been a little over, I believe, 2 weeks since my last episode, and I mentioned it to my wife, and she had the same reaction that I did. Wow, really? 2 weeks? I said, yeah. Um, life got a little busy. Thought maybe it would calm down a little bit after the holidays, in which it did. Too much glare from the glasses. Too much hair in the face. Things did settle down a little bit. But I've also been working a little bit more in the church. So my Sundays are a little more, uh, a little more fuller with obligation versus, I should say, service versus kicking back and letting the ideas flow or come to me, or whatever the case is. With the crazy weather coming that's landed upon us, we have a stray cat that's been another stray cat that's been hanging out at our house. This one has been dubbed Max from the other town people. Uh, it was just too cold. It was so cold outside, and I'm glad we did what we did. We brought Max inside. He's in the basement. He wasn't too happy at first, but I opened the door. Thank God he walked right in. I mean, it took a little coaxing, but when he's been trying to get in for months, I guess. Um, so we brought all the stuff in. We have one of those little outdoor cat huts with the heating pad in there. You plug it in and it keeps it nice and warm in there. We brought that inside for him. The favorite welcome mat that he likes to sharpen his claws on, we brought that in for him. A blanket that was outside during the fall, we brought that in for him. We were able to use my past pups' dishes to fill with water and food, and we brought him in a little earlier than we thought because it was just so doggone cold Saturday. Brought him in Saturday afternoon. Excuse me. Made him a makeshift litter box, and today, what are we at? Monday. He finally he came out and he peed a little bit. Like right behind me. We found another spot that he peed in, and when I saw him scratching at the floor, I was like, here's your litter box, here's your litter pan," and he scratched at it, and he went and pooped like a big boy, right in the pan. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Been caring for God's creatures. Um, Man, I miss my dog. I want another dog when I can afford it. I ask for signs, and we get a cat that just walks into our home. Um, Lord works in mysterious ways, does he not? Yes, he does. So we'll see where this goes. Excuse me. And I've been dealing with this cough that just won't go away. Couldn't possibly have anything to do with smoking for 30 years. All right. Medicinally. Okay. Medicinally. Yeah. So let's get on with things, shall we? Um, I am very unscripted. Um, I like IRL in real life. And if there's a script, if there's any kind of anything I've jotted down, to me that just isn't real. So I like to have uh, my topics come to me, whether it's through a sermon, which this week's did. A lot of times it's just from interacting with people at work, strangers, people that I might read comments or hear things from on YouTube or on Facebook, social media, whatever the case is, and that's where the topics come from. And this past Sunday, um, while I was doing my job at the tech desk and making errors, I was a few slides behind, but we only had like 3 people in attendance in the church, one of which was my wife, so she kind of had to be there, I guess. Um, the sermon yesterday was, "Who are you wearing today?" And this is something that had been, running in and out my mind since I was a young guy. And it really, I was probably about 16 or 17 at the time when this idea really, this topic really came to mind. Um, who are you wearing? Um, are you going out? Are you putting on your Sunday best just on Sundays? Are you, just being, Christ-like in your walk and your talk just on Sundays? Are you, being a nice person or a decent person or a loving person? Are you following his commandments? Are you following what he wants us to do? Are you following the word just on Sundays, or when somebody's watching, or just when pastor's in the room? You know what I mean? Um, to touch on what I said a minute ago about being 16 or 17, I was in the middle of a church service, and I've always been respectful. Um, my parents, my grandparents, my aunt and uncles, whoever I went to church with as a child, and I was never a disruptive child to begin with. So I was a real easy kid to raise. I don't care what my parents might tell you. Excuse me. There was a young man that was with me that day, and he was being a disruptive young man. It was just that's how he was. He was always disruptive. And I'm going to say young lady. She wasn't very young, but she was a young lady. Um, Somebody in the congregation. I'm not sure if she was a member. It doesn't really matter. But she turned around at one point, looked both of us dead in our beady little boy eyes. If I was 16, 17, the young man that was with me was probably, I'd say I want to say maybe 13 at the most. She turns around in church in the middle of service and tells us both to shut the F up. Wait, what? Wait, can we put on closed caption? Can we put the subtitles on? Because I'm pretty sure, ma'am, you just told me to shut the F up in church. Number one, I wasn't making any noise. If I'm going to be yelled at for something, you better doggone guarantee that you're yelling at me for something that I actually did. That's one of my biggest peeves. Don't you yell at me for something you think I did. You better know that I did something and yell at me for it. I had a friend's wife give me all sorts of hell one time on Facebook. So you're yelling at me for something he did. This doesn't add up. Your math ain't mathing. You just added 2 and 2 and got swing. It don't work. So I was already kind of miffed about that. You're yelling at me for something I didn't do. On a side note, this little guy was always getting me in trouble. Always. Whatever he did, somehow I was the blame for it. Like, it was me, I didn't do it. So she turns around and tells us that shut the F up. STFU, to put it short. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the place to be swearing. Now, I understand turning around and telling somebody to shut up, it's a little better. What she should have asked was us to quiet the heck up. Or even a firm shushing. I am the shusher. I will not be shushed. Even a strong, stern shushing would have done. But she swore at me. She swore at us. The young man that was with me, he makes you want to swear at him a lot at that time. I'm not sure how he is now. I lost contact, and that's fine by me. But this kid, man, he knew how to press buttons. So that, you can tell. It was 17. Let's say I was 17. That was over 30 years ago, and it still sits up here. I almost poked myself in the eye. It still sits in the front of my mind that this woman had said this, an elder woman in the church, and dropped the F-bomb. Wow. I just, of all places, to me, let me know if I'm wrong. You don't swear in church. Now, I know I'm talking about what are you wearing today? Are you only saving your Christ likeness? Are you saving your best for just Sundays? Are you saving your best just for when people are watching? Are you only saving your best for when you think it counts? But here we are on Sunday, in and when it counts during worship, and you're throwing the F-bomb at me. My hierarchy of swear words, the F word is one of the top ones, man. She hit us with it. It's not like she says, shut up, you little sons of bitches. No, she came with the granddaddy of all, and boom, F-bomb. And I noticed it. I notice it to this day. There's some functions, there's some things that we do, and outside of church service. And now maybe it's because my hair was down. I've been trying something new lately. I had work this morning, so and that's part 2 of this. So the hair was back, and I had a bandana on and all that good stuff. But I've been trying to leave it down. Just let it swing, right? Let it swing. Maybe they didn't recognize me. I don't know. Maybe they were having a bad day, and that's fine because we all have them. And I would hate to think that I'm experiencing something to this something along the lines of what happened before happening again. But it really resonated with me because since that day, as a 16, 17-year-old young man, and that young lady dropping the F-bomb on me, I'm thinking, like, you're going to put on your clean clothes. You're going to put on your Sunday best. You're going to put on a nice hat, nice shoes, depending on how old you were, maybe some gloves and a matching purse. And you're going to go to service. Maybe some Werther's Originals in your pocket, in your purse, whatever. You're not there to swear at somebody. We're not there to tell someone to STFU. Man, and to say it to the wrong person. It wasn't me. So that makes me, made me wonder then, why are we only saving our best for when we think it counts? Does the clock not run continuously? Do our days not start over again? Meaning, once we've gone through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, midnight comes, a new day begins, and we start Monday again. So, again, time, the clock is round, right? That's the best I could do. There you go. Who looked? So it's round. It keeps going. Time keeps going. Apparently, it was going backwards, but time keeps going. It doesn't stop, really. So we need to be, and we need to have on our Sunday best at all times. Not when it counts, not when we think it counts, not when we think somebody's looking, not when pastors around, not when people, ain't nobody from my church in here, I can act a fool. No. Because even when you are by yourself, you can be on the outskirts of Serbia somewhere in a metal box. You pick the size. I don't give a dang. But even when you're on the outskirts of no freaking where, in a box, with a fox, whatever, you are not alone. You are still being seen. If you have faith, then you know God is watching. If you have faith, you know God is with you. Why do we forget this? I'll tell you, because we're human. Why don't we practice this? I'll tell you, because we are human. We are not without flaw. We have been given free will. How we use that and how we avoid flaws or how we make up for our flaws, that counts. Man, can you tell that bothered me from all those years ago? Um, so, and it was such a thing too, because pastor brought that up, in the sermon, and was talking about what are we wearing today, what are our Sunday best, and it was the beginning of the storm, so the handful of us showed up to to help tech music. We dressed appropriate for church, as appropriate for the weather as well. I had boots on, blue jeans, and a nice shirt and sweater because I try to do that, But it's not the clothing, it's not the wardrobe that makes it my Sunday best. It's what I put on underneath of it. It's what is my soul cloaked in, right? What what am I dressing my faith in? Am I dressing my faith in a ghillie suit? Am I hiding who I am Monday through Saturday? Or am I coming out there with nothing but faith on my person, on my soul, on my spirit? Essentially naked, you know. Here I am. I'm same Rye on Sunday. I'm the same Rye on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the hard part is being, the same Rye, which is by same Ryan, I mean a better me. Um, when I am with friends and family that have known me at my absolute worst, who have known me at a less than better me. Um, so I try to, walk as if, it counts because it does count. I tried to talk and speak the best I can as if it counts because it does count all the time. I walk the walk, I talk the talk. I know my journey is still new, it's still fresh. My walk with God is still new, and I walk with a limp. There's a slight limp in my walk from here to the store, and there's a slight limp in my walk with Jesus and with God because I am not perfect. And one day I will be healed of that limp in faith and in physicality. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be another testament. Um, excuse me, brain fart. I had a very good friend, close. I mean, we are family. That's just what it is. Messaged me the other day, and I'm a bit of a nut when it comes to trying to make people laugh, trying to bring something fun to the table. Because I see all the other crap that's out there today in the social media, on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams. I don't get on TikTok because it's tick crap as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, um, so this angel of a friend mentioned. She said that she goes, I saw your post earlier today because I made a post on Facebook about the doing a little silly weather update. I've got my ski mask on, so all you see is my eyeballs, and you can tell where my mouth was because it was so cold. Icicles and stuff were forming around, where my nose and my mouth was, and it was pretty neat. So I said, weather update. Yeah, no, don't. The weather, it sucks. There, done. But you're not going to stop me. I was out there with my shovel, some homemade DIY ice melter, and I was getting my truck out, my Jeep out of that snow, and I said, "You're not keeping me. I got to get back to work because there's some church to do today." So this angel of a friend commented or texted me later on. Excuse me. And says that they had seen my post about, she goes, you guys are really dedicated to going to church. And I answered her back. I said, this is because you've known me for over 20 years. Jesus, thank you. You've known me, and I can tell you this, you've known me for almost a little over 26 years. And knowing me, having seen what I've done, having heard what I've said, she's been there and seen it all. My good, my bad, my worst. Now I want them to see my better. She says, you guys are really dedicated to going to church. And I said, this is going to sound far out coming from me, from who you've known for the last 20 some years. I look at it like this. One way I look at it is like this. If my faith that I put my whole heart into, if I believe that he died on the cross, suffered at the hands of Pontius Pilate, who was a scapegoat, but if he went through the hell that he went through that torture, he went through that persecution, he went through carrying that cross, and then being nailed to it, being stabbed in the side, having a crown of thorns put upon his head, having a rag soaked in vinegar stuffed in his mouth and left up there. If he did all that for me, I can give him 1 hour of my day. 1 hour out of 24. I can do that. If he asks for a day out of my week, I can do that. I didn't put all this in the text because that was really long-winded and I was probably between naps. I don't know. But yes, if he did all that for me, then why can I not? Why wouldn't I give an hour of my day, 2 hours of my day? Why wouldn't I sign up to work in the food pantry, to volunteer time on a day off from work, to work at the church? Why would I? Why would I not? How could I not? It just makes sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense. Which actually kind of ties into the other thing I wanted to touch on is just show up. Just show up. I'll tell you where that came from in a little bit. There have been times when Not as of recent, thank God. But there were times growing up and into my adult years that um, didn't make sense to me. The word wasn't clicking. The word wasn't wording for whatever reason. And hindsight being what it is, I wasn't ready for it at that time. You know, um, I needed to get. I had to go through those places to get to where I am now, and to fully be able to embrace the word and the spirit and the faith. Um, so I show up to a service one day, half-hearted because oh, beer, just get this over with, let's go. And by the time the service was over, I was moved to tears a little bit, and I had received something that I didn't know I needed. He knew I needed it. God knew I needed it. Jesus knew I needed it. And I'm sure there's plenty of people around me who knew that boy needs it. And that boy got it. Why did I get it? Because I just showed up. I just showed up. Interesting little thing to that. I had a gentleman years and years and years ago where I used to work. McMessin. Big. Just. I had an attendance issue. The attendance issue was stemming from issues up here and issues in here. Not to mention, it was a third shift job that I had never worked before. The third shift, I had done second shift, and when I was a king at it, but third shift was really whooping my tail. So I had an attendance issue, and this gentleman was telling me, hey, I know it could be hard, I know it could be difficult, I know it could be strenuous, but just show up. Just show up. Okay. 13 years later, that same guy had to call me up and fire me because I didn't just show up. A lot of it, to be honest, had to do with me proving a couple of higher ups wrong and not being a bootlicker and not being quiet about it. But God rescued me from that job. God rescued me from those people. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, what a cesspool of filth and crime and villainy. And it was like Mos Eisley Spaceport. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious. It was, yeah, no, goodness. Yeah, the same guy who told me just show up had to call me at work one day. Ready for this? On my day off. And it informed me that I was canned. I was thankful in the way that they did it because it was about an hour's drive. That's a lot of gas. That's not to mention where I was in my head at that time. You pass a lot of trees in an hour's drive, and that's on your way to work and on your way back. So that's 2 hours. Now, if I had gone to work and found out, hey, this is just like they like to tell you in Jersey, it's just not working out because they can do that. There were a lot of trees that a person could swerve off the road and run into and end things. So I was grateful that they did that. But when my kids finally saw Friday, my oldest kids, they see that part where Smokey sits down with Craig and goes, "Man, that's stupid. How you gonna get fired on your day off?" And I'm in the kitchen going, "Oh my gosh, here it comes." My wife's looking at me. She's cracking a smile. My kid's pausing. "Hey, Dad, did you get fired on your day off?" And I was like, you know what? Y'all ain't my kids. Get out this house. Get out. Get out. No, but we did have a great big laugh on it. The irony of it all, right? Guy tells me just show up and helps me to get my head in a, part of my head in a better space, has to call me up and can me on my day off. But hey, it is what it is, and I'm where I am right now, and thank God, I'm smiling. I enjoy going to my job. I enjoy the people I work with. God delivered me from that place. So just show up today. We're playing it by ear. as we were leaving work Friday, they let us go early again on Friday, which was nice. They go over the inclement weather, emergency weather, closure procedure stuff. The warehouse top dog was telling us, El Jefe, telling us, listen, we are notoriously open for business during these storms, during this type of weather, during this type of thing. So, please plan on us being open. He said, hey, if the weather is that bad, if the roads are terrible because of the ice and stuff that we got, some of your areas may not be plowed. Some of you might be plowed in. I was plowed in. Thank God my four-wheel drive was kicking tail this morning, so I was able to get out. He said, if you can't make it to work Monday, that's fine. Don't kill yourself to get here. It's not worth it. Business will be here Tuesday. Be safe. So we get a phone call. I'm sorry, they do it through the ADP app and find out that they're going to shoot for a 2-hour delay. Now, of course, I'm going, oh, man, 2-hour delay. This is bogus, man. I wanted to, stay home, chill, put the blankets on, turn the lights off, watch Alien movie or something, you know what I mean? Or spend half the morning like I usually do, listening or reading my Bible. So, wake up this morning, check the app, like nothing's changed. All right, we're still working. Son of a gun. Could be worse, right? So, as I get myself together, I had my morning coffee. I don't take it to work anymore. I drink it at home, and I read my daily devotional, and I read the corresponding script to go along with it. Did I say script? I didn't mean to say script. I meant to say, what's that other word I'm looking for? Text. Read the text to go along with it. So as I'm getting ready to go, got my jacket on, got my boots tied tight. Hope I don't get in a fight. Head out to the car, and I'm going, all this shoveling yesterday, and it's wearing on me. It's tearing me up a little bit, but I'm so close to work. Somebody, if I didn't show up today, somebody would be like, yeah, this stone boner, this token saint, this Ryan guy lives 5 minutes away from here, and we see he got a Jeep. Why is he not here? What is this? So, what did I do? I just showed up. Just show up. It was a calm day. We didn't really have any deliveries. It was a quiet day because only, I think, 7 of us showed up, and that's not even counting, our supervisors and office personnel on it. There were so few of us, we couldn't really conduct business, but it was quiet. It was calm. It was laid back. I enjoy that. Just kind of working at my own pace. Excuse me. Nobody to bother me. Nobody get in the way. I just showed up. Break. Excuse me. We had a 2-hour delay, so our break is normally at 9:45, and somebody's asking me, "Are we going to break?" I'm like, "Dude, we just got here. You want to go to break?" It would have been a great idea, though, wouldn't it? So I said, "Nah. I think we're just kind of pushing things back, and we're just going to do lunch, and then after our normal lunch, do our normal thing, and we're out of here in 3:30, 4 o'clock, whatever time you come in, and go home. Go to lunch, and of course I was talking to my wife and my son at lunch, going, man, I was really hoping that they'd say, hey, why don't you guys pack it all up? Let's go. Get done lunch, come back in, start to get back into work, and one of the supervisors comes by and call my name. I was like, oh boy, here we go. What's up? What did I do? What happened? So I grabbed my gloves. I'm like, yeah, what's up, boss? And he goes, just go punch out. We're shutting down. This, it was probably costing them more to stay open than what they would actually be able to put out and make a profit off of. The weather crippled us. So I was like, heck yeah, man. All right, no problem. You ain't got to tell me twice. There was another gentleman I was working with today. They went looking for him. He must have heard either before or the same time that I heard, and just like boogered for that door, man, because we went looking for him after the decision was made, and we told the other 4 or 5 people in the warehouse that we're leaving early. He was nowhere to be freaking found. As I'm pulling out of the parking lot, I look for his truck. His truck is gone. Dude was ghosted. Gone. He was jetting like Elvis. Oh my God, that was from like 7th grade. We didn't quite know what it meant, but it meant getting the heck out of there on, with the quickness. So then my immediate supervisor he was getting ready to go, and he was heading past me, getting my coat on, and he's all smiles and everything. He said, "Hey, oh well." I said, "Hey, man, look what happens. Just show up. Just show up and see what happens." We showed up with a 2-hour delay, went home 2 hours early, and we get paid for the entire day because we just showed up. I mean, we worked too. Granted, there, if everybody had showed up, there's going to be some people who show up and just don't work. Yeah, we have them. I'm not going to name names because they ain't cool, but we have them. But we just showed up. Just show up and see what happens. And at the worst case, it was 1 o'clock. I would have worked another 2.5 hours and I've gone home, Just show up, folks. Just show up because you never know what you're going to get. You might just get what you need. For certain, you're going to get something for just showing up. And it's always good. You show up to the right things at the right time. It don't get no gooder. It don't get no gooder. Show up. Show up for church. Show up for temple. Show up for synagogue. Show up for your faith. Show up for your people. Show up for your family. Show up for your children. Show up for your nieces and your nephews. Show up for your cousins and your aunties and your uncles and your grannies and your grandpies. Show up for your mama and your daddy. Show up. Just show up. Because we can't do it if we're not there. Just show up. Goodness gracious, that felt good. Just show up, right? And what do we wear when we show up? We should wear our Sunday best. How we think, how we, feel that we should be acting, and what we hold off on until Sunday is how we're supposed to be dressed and acting every day. Just because we're not in the church, just because it's not Sunday, just because pastor's not here, just because we're not surrounded by other members, we still need to be wearing our Sunday best. Always wear your Sunday best and just show up. Just show up in your Sunday best. Man, I thank God for all things and how he's blessed me with this gift, this ability, and the equipment I have to do this. I thank God for you guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, whoever is out there watching and listening and watching. I greatly appreciate you. I thank you. I love you. Even if you're not watching and listening, guess what? I still love you, and I still thank you. Put your Sunday best on Monday through Sunday. Do it again the next week, and just show up. Until then, guys and girls, be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. And kids, I'm out of here. Matt. Matt. Meow. Matt. 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 Meow. Meow.